Welcome back, everyone. This is F124. This is round 4 of the 2024 season. Today, we have a brand new partner to reveal for the team. I teased it last week. We are now Budo Andretti F1 team. Andretti and Cadillac, they came after seeing that we've been scoring points in the first few races of the season as a brand new team in Formula 1. And look at all the sponsors they brought with them. New livery, new F1 team, essentially. Same team. New kind of primary partner there. I do have jonniedesigns to thank for this. I've left the link to this livery and everything in the description of this video. But big thank you to jonniedesigns. If you go over to the link, you can download this livery for yourself and put it into your own career modes. Now obviously been doing some R&D, really trying to just bring the car forward in terms of development, and obviously can't forget about those activities. So again, just gonna try and probably do some weight training here, probably a funded team event. It does cost us a little bit of cash, but it's good for the team morale, which is good for our upgrades. And why not? Let's send Jarno to attend an F1 sim racing event. It seems legit, to be honest.
You're not currently in a rivalry. Sooner or later, you'll probably be asked by the media who you consider to be your rival. Think carefully who you select. As while you'll receive a claim for beating them, you'll lose a claim if you fail to do so.
Absolutely. Rival. It's the first one we ever choose in this game. And between Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon, I'm not sure who I should really pick here. I know we've raced against both in the past couple of races, and I believe we almost overtook Albon to get more points at the end of the last race. So I think we're going to try and pick Albon.
Thanks. I know these kinds of decisions can be challenging, but I think you made the right call.
We did indeed make the right call, I hope. Albon is very fast. The Williams is looking pretty good. I think Alpine is a little bit weaker. But I think, you know, we could still do it. I think Albon's had a couple of good races, but I feel like Williams is a more achievable team than Alpine in this game, at least. Maybe not in real life at this point in the real life Formula 1 season. But again, we're just trying to see what we get. It's a little bit of a mix. And while we're on the kind of topic of what we can do to improve our own pace and overtake some teams, we went for the simulator. The simulator upgrade in the facility helps the second driver's pace, which is amazing for us.
A warm welcome, everybody, from a venue that has seen plenty of sensational laps over the years. Remember, Verstappen in 23, Vettel in 2019, some phenomenal pole laps. But whose will it be today?
Indeed. There's our brand new uniform, by the way. Andretti on the hat there. It's fantastic. We are going ready into qualifying, I believe this is. Yeah, Suzuka. It's a decent track. I enjoy it. But it can be very tricky to get right, especially the first S section as we head down the pit straight for the first time in qualifying. We've got Jarno just ahead of us. Turning in there just around the 50-meter board and just keep trying to wind the wheel. Slowly decrease your minimum speed before getting back on the throttle. Then through these S sections, the car was feeling a little bit twitchy at points. Obviously, you should try and avoid these curbs. I found they did help with some rotation, as that one definitely didn't. We did a little bit of the wheel into the kind of grass next to that curb. Chuck it into the first Degner. I think these are the Degners, I believe. And try not to run too far wide or mount that curb too much. It will bottom out the car. And I'm finding this hairpin a little bit tricky, to be honest with you. The braking point is pretty much straight. You do need to come at it from a weird angle, but it's just such a short braking zone, really, to try and decrease your speed and then turn in for a hairpin. And again, another corner there that's sort of tightening in on you as you come through it. It's pretty high speed. that corner as well for the first part. And obviously you've got to try not to lock up the front tyres. This corner, the last corner, it's not even a corner at this point. It's pretty much a straight. And try not to mount the inside curb on that last left-hander, because it will spin out your car. Where do we end up? P6. Obviously not everyone's done their laps yet. We're just ahead of Jarno. I'm not too upset with that, to be honest. It was a first lap in anger. So we'll see kind of how we do, where everyone else sits. As we go to check the timing screen. Maybe accelerate the time a little bit just to get everyone else to finish their laps. You can see that out there now. And as predicted, everyone is flying ahead of us. But we're actually sitting in between the two RB cars, the two Kit cars, the two Haas. So we're in a decent sort of place right now. Obviously we're still going to go out and try to improve our time. We are currently, what is that, P14? Really not bad at all, but everyone else will improve as we start the last flying lap for us in Q1. Everyone else is behind us, so there's a chance that everyone can improve. We do run a little bit wide in that first corner, get the power down nicely, although we have lost a tenth already. Trying not to run out too wide, the back end stepping out again, and we've lost half a second now. This is really not looking good for us, so we're just trying to get as much as we can out of the car as we go wide and spin out onto the gravel. And yeah, you can just see how dirty the tyres get from going off the track, and that really, really does hurt any kind of tyre performance. And naturally, we do just come back into the pits because there was not enough time to get round to start another flying lap. We destroyed the tyres, and that was it. Albon beat us in qualifying. Again, if we'd finished that lap at the end, we might have beaten him potentially. But again, we just have to wait and see.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. A lap of this historic racetrack covers 3.6 miles. It's the only time during the season that we race on a figure-of-8 circuit. And the drivers can expect some intense G-forces through the 18 corners on offer here as they experience some of the highest average apex speeds on the Formula One calendar. Keep an eye out for overtakes into the final chicane. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Hamilton, Russell, Stroll, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Albon, Bottas, Magnussen, Joe, Brown, Sargent, the owner driver, and Nico Hülkenberg rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'll give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. As we all know, every single driver wants to know what's required of them. And in the case of this driver, I think things are pretty stable at the moment. They're doing what the team require. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
We're at the back, but give it 100% and we can still come away with a decent result. I believe in you. Come on.
Absolutely, Mark. We can come away with a decent result here. I feel like if we can get the lap together, if we can do well around each corner, keep the car in check, keep the power down nicely, we can do well on this circuit. We've gone a little bit higher downforce this weekend. Previous races we've gone low downforce, and it's helped us in the race. But with Sector 1, and I feel like the AI is just going to be so strong there, we had to take a little bit of a higher wing level. You've only got 130R and the pit straight, that kind of those areas of the track where you could get overtaken for straight line speed. And right now we're just trying to sort out our strategy. We're thinking hard medium could be the way to go. Medium hard maybe, might be faster. Let's see what we go for. Hard medium, or medium hard actually. Went the other way. Everyone else around us on soft. The lights are on. Now they're out and we get going for the Suzuka Grand Prix. Magnussen gets a terrible getaway on those softs, surprisingly, but we're going to duke it out with the two Kick Saubers here. We get a little bit boxed in and Magnussen's coming back around the outside. We're 2x2x2 going through the first corners. We're just going to try and send it around the outside of Zhou. Can we keep him in check? We're going to go a little bit deep just to kind of cut him off and make him back out. And now we're settled nicely between the two Kick Saubers, or we were. Kick Saubers both on the mediums as well, which is going to kind of protect us from behind while also, you know, allowing us to keep up with the cars in front. We almost thought about a move down the inside of Bottas there on the second Degner, as now we send it down in towards the hairpin. A little bit of a lockup as the car tried to get away from us under brakes there. I'm just going to adjust my brake bias a little bit, I think. A little bit towards the front so I don't lock the rears as we do any dive bombs in the future. Now up to P16 in the race. It's a good first half a lap there as we go a little bit deep behind Ricciardo, I think.
Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward.
We did kind of wash out with the turbulent air from the back of the RB car as we run horribly wide there. Just really trying to push the battery to avoid Bottas as Tsunoda goes a little bit deep. That gets us up the inside of Ricciardo as he was very slow, trying not to hit the back of his teammate. And now we're just going to go for it on Ricciardo. We're going to use all of our battery. We have absolutely nothing left, but we don't really need it for the first half of the lap. We're going to go down the inside, try and leave him room on the exit, and wind the wheel back, straighten up, and get into this S section. Try and close up to Tsunoda, who's actually on hard tyres, which is a very interesting strategy. Ricciardo going soft and Tsunoda going hard. And yeah, it's not too difficult to keep up with him, but I am struggling a little bit with the lockups and getting the car slowed down mid-corner, really. And we're going to try and get as close to the back of Tsunoda as we possibly can through this section. He's leaving himself very vulnerable here by not being close. We do send it and go a little bit close to going off the track, but we keep it together just. I don't know how Tsunoda backed out of that enough, but he's all over the back of us. We do have our DRS open and Tsunoda doesn't, but you can just see how much straight line speed we're lacking right here as we go very deep into turn one. Just try and collect it on the inside, and oh, we've been hit on the rear. Who was that? Was that Tsunoda? Yes, it was. There he is. He's destroyed his front wing. And that was crazy. He must have just... yeah, just absolutely clattered into our right rear tyre there. I don't know. He must have seen us. I have no idea. He had plenty of room on the inside. He could see us the whole way. Is the onboard from Ricciardo's point of view. And maybe I could have been a little bit more on the curb, but... I have no idea what Tsunoda was thinking, but with that, the VSC has been deployed. We've lost 10 seconds already, and we've got a critically damaged underbody from the look of the MFD in the bottom right. Naturally, we're gaining time on the VSC. It's really not hard to do, but Tsunoda, 8 seconds up the road. Safety cars are ending. We're not even going to have the chance to pit. And Tsunoda has a broken front wing, which I think, to be honest, out of the two, I would have preferred to have my front wing broken than this much damage on the underfloor. Yeah, and if you probably know already, but if you don't know, the underbody and the floor is what generates all the downforce. So we've got yellow flags here, and who is that? That's Pierre Gasly, almost on the gravel there at the last chicane. He must have spun off on his own, I think, and just waiting for us to get back on. And we're just kind of skipping through the laps. We're already on lap 8 now, and there's Albon. He's just pit. We're not beating him today. We thought we could in qualifying, but we just couldn't put the lap together. And now he was a full pit stop ahead of us by lap 8, as is kind of to be expected when you kind of get spun around by another car, especially on this track through the first S section, the first sector. Yeah, it's very hard to kind of recover and gain a lot of time back on these cars when you've got, I mean, just look at the damage. Every time we touch the brakes.
The car ahead's come in to fit the mediums. Car ahead now running medium tyres.
Yeah. So Albon, 8 lap fresher mediums. We've got incredible damage on the rear of our cars. We're now trying to fight Ricciardo here. I'm pretty sure Ricciardo's pitted as well. I'm going to try and keep it in one piece. But we've just lost all of our downforce with that. We can't even keep it on the track without kind of locking up because there's no grip. All of the downforce is gone. The tyres are the tyres are carrying all of the grip. We're relying on the tyres basically. The tyres and the wings, which don't make too much of a difference. And it's just not a good day for us. You can see how much slower we're having to go through the corners just to keep it barely on the track. And Sargent's now coming through. Got Magnussen behind Otmir. You know, our teammate Jarno is only a few seconds back, and I'm pretty sure he's pitted as well. I'm not entirely certain. We're going to box at the end of this lap. Try and do something a bit different, but we're not actually. Potentially trying to fake out those other teams as the other cars in front of us, Bottas, Hulkenberg, they're pitting for the hard tyre. Here's Hulkenberg. Right there is Sargent. Has to kind of find the gap in between myself and Hulkenberg there. And as I said, no grip. Hulkenberg easy up the inside after getting off the pit limiter. And yeah, we just got no grip. This S section is destroying us. I think we are over 2 seconds a lap slower at this point than we were before. Like literally the first lap, full of fuel, backed up by the pack, and we did a 1:32.6 pretty much. But now we're just sliding everywhere, trying to keep cars behind us in some way, hoping for a safety car or a red flag, just to kind of dig us out of this pit that we find ourselves in. As here goes Hulkenberg, half a lap later, on the inside, on his hard tyres. I think I was saying Hulkenberg earlier, but it must have been Magnussen. But anyway, he goes through pretty easily. We're struggling for the grip, struggling for everything. And look how much distance he's made on us since that last corner. It's 8 tenths, 9 tenths. And yeah, we're doing okay to stay with him, but again, he's just able to gap us pretty easily in a Haas. When you need the grip, he has the grip. I've been trying to do my best with this car and the damage that we have. The team's just wanting me to come into the box. I don't know if they want to retire the car, but I'm definitely not wanting to do that, as there's a bunch of smoke up here, and it's actually Magnussen who's spun and is on the racing line. Somehow that wasn't an immediate safety car for a car facing the wrong way on the track, as now Jarno's coming through. I'm just going to take a lift early, let him through, see what he can do. He's got softer tyres than Hulkenberg ahead. Maybe he can do something. And now, yeah, the fight is between us, Tsunoda and Magnussen, who've all made horrendous mistakes as we come into the pit, nice and tidy. Almost spinning a little bit on the pit entry as well, which is not ideal. And yeah, hopefully the team can give us a good service and get us out so we can have some sort of fight.
We had an issue removing the right front wheel. I know it's not ideal, but let's try and put it behind us now and get back into this race.
We really need to improve our pit stops. An issue with the right front tyre again. I feel like it was the left front in the last race. It's really not helping us get anything from it. Magnussen is 5 seconds up the road. We do have brand new soft tyres. He's been on the mediums for probably around 5, 6, maybe 7 laps at the moment. And yeah, I think we're going to try and set a fastest lap here. We'll do the best lap we can. We tip it into turn 1. Get it turned in quite nicely. Get on the throttle quite early as well. Again, going to take it through this S section. We're just lacking all of the downforce from the floor. Relying purely on the tyres, which thankfully are the soft red ringed rubber. It's a mouthful. And they should provide all the pace. We go personal best sector 1, tip it into the second Degner, kind of take a little bit too much curb there. But again, just really trying to get as much as I can from this car. And yeah, keep it together, keep it in one straight line going around the track, maximize the grip where we can, but not take too many risks, because we will just immediately fly off the track if we do a little bit too much pushing on these tyres. So now here we are. We've actually caught Magnussen. Keep mixing them up for some reason. It's now 4.2 seconds ahead of us. So we're coming into the last chicane here. Again, we just can't really slow down too much there. We do take that last curb very nicely as we open it up and get towards the line. And it's a purple sector 3, I think, purely from dumping all of the battery.
Okay, Magnussen ahead. Okay, gap to the car in front, 3.7 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. Your last lap time, 1 minute 33.5. And you're closing by 4/10 a lap. Keep it going.
And yeah, such is the damage to the car. As soon as the tyres start to go off,
Okay, mate,
we're losing all pace. We're already on.
And let's bring it home.
Our last lap was a 1:34.3 compared to the first flying lap on these softs where we did a 1:31.8. So obviously it was a pretty decent lap where we had that fastest lap attempt. We did get a purple final sector, which is obviously amazing for us, but again, we're losing 3 seconds, 2-3 seconds a lap from what we could be doing if we had a car that wasn't damaged. And yeah, at this point we're just driving home. Nothing really for us to do. 22nd on the road, Magnussen ahead.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And that's all we can say. Just pick up the rubber, bring it home. Yeah, we went for a race. Fernando Alonso with the driver of the day, but for us, nothing really we can do.
What a day it's been for Fernando Alonso. It's victory, and what a victory.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
The Aston Martin team will be very happy with today's performance. And of course, the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork. And a well-deserved first-place finish.
Indeed. Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin coming in first. There's a McLaren of Oscar Piastri in third, potentially. I'll have to check. It does look a little bit like Piastri. Yeah, it is. I can see his number on his race suit there. And the Ferrari of... I'm not seeing faces out of Leclerc again. No, it's Sainz. There we go. Ferraris.
Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
And yeah, the Ferrari seemingly swapping places over the past few races to who gets their turn on the podium. So we have Alonso, Sainz, Piastri in the top 3, Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Perez, Hamilton, Russell and Lance Stroll rounding out the top 10. It's interesting. Alex Albon in 11th. We'd have had a hell of a race to beat him. Ocon after that. Ricciardo, Bottas, Sargent, Zhou Guan Yu, Nico Hulkenberg, Jarno Opmeer, Gasly, Tsunoda, Magnussen, and then myself. A minute and a half after Fernando Alonso. Tsunoda only got a warning for that collision. I don't know what more we can say. The replay speaks for itself. We were on the outside line. Hulkenberg. What is it with Hulkenberg? He's just in my mind. Yeah, Tsunoda surely could see us the entire time we were ahead of him in that corner. And he just came in a bit too quick, maybe. Thought we would be a little bit further towards the curb. But there we go. Now equal with Alex Albon in the driver's standings. And obviously Ferrari pulling a bigger lead every weekend, it seems, in the constructors. And it's basically myself versus Albon or Williams versus Budo Andretti Racing. And here are the highlights. I'm not sure what's happening with the lights there, but they do work in the end. It was a decent race initially. After we got that damage, there was nothing more we could really do. Yeah. When you have that much damage, there's not much you can do. It's like missing a whole front wing. You just lose all of the downforce. You know, when it's a front wing, you lose all of the downforce from just the front. When it's the underfloor, it affects the entire car. And you can see here again, Tsunoda just, yeah, I think he maybe just expected us to be a bit wider, which I probably should have been, but I still think he could see us the whole time. And with closing speed, you should be able to do a bit more to back out of it. I think it was just unlucky for us to get a fully broken floor. And Tsunoda, who the FIA said was in the wrong by, issuing a warning, is only hit with a broken front wing, which is easily fixed in the pit stops. Easily fixed. But that's it. We move on to the next race. The next race is China, so I think that time we're probably going to go for a little bit of a lower downforce setup, just purely for the long straight that there is in Sector 3. And yeah, hopefully Andretti see the potential, understand what happened this weekend with us. It wasn't both cars in last. That's a really good bonus for us that Jarno was a little bit further towards the midfield. And hopefully he can carry that momentum and that confidence in this kind of new design of the car and this new support we have from our primary partner, Andretti Cadillac, into China and, yeah, really show what he can do in this Formula One car. That's it. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you want to stick around for next week, hit the subscribe. And I will see you all in China next week.